This conference will now be recorded.
I think it's Spanish you can't hear, which we don't.
Oh, okay. All right, welcome everybody tonight. I just want to start off by saying bear with me, because this is my first time sharing this board, so I might be a little bit painful with all the technical steps. The first thing I have to read is the stating in accordance with the emergency order. I confirm with providing public access to the meeting by telephone, with additional access possibilities by video or other electronic means. We are using Zoom. GoToMeetings platform for this electronic meeting. All members of the board, committee, and commission have the ability to communicate through this meeting during the platform during this meeting, and the public have access to contemporaneously listen and, if necessary, participate in this meeting through dialing the following phone number: 1-866-899-4679. And the PIN is 811-952. Public notice and necessary information for accessing the meeting via our website and the town kiosk located at Town Hall. Provide a mechanism for the public to alert the body during the meeting if there are any problems to access. Anybody has a problem, both of which the email is being monitored during the meeting, and that is web. Web at Tilton. And during the meeting, if the public is unable to access the meeting, in the event the public is unable to access, we will adjourn and reschedule. Are you guys hearing us okay on there?
All right.
Anything on?
I do think if you remove mask from this evening, I mean, it's going to run on the meeting, that does help.
Okay. Are you guys hearing us okay on there?
Not really.
There's quite an echo.
What if I sit back here?
It's actually better.
Okay.
All right, so you just have to be a little bit away.
Do I need to reread this thing? No.
They don't know.
We'll start off with a roll call and introducing our two members.
Eric Senior,
President.
Scott Davis,
Present.
Amanda,
Present.
Brian Pierce, Keith, I'm sorry,
Present.
and Matt Gilman.
Present. So we have two members of the board, Brian Pease and Amanda. Is that correctly? Awesome. Thank you guys for joining us. So typically, if I'm correct, how we do this is we do last minute meetings,
To the minutes first.
and then we start with the cases and give the presenter an opportunity, the person who's bringing the case forward, an opportunity to speak, ask them questions, we close it to public comment, and we'll bring amongst ourselves.
So present, open public hearing, take input from butters first, others, close public hearing, and then deliberate. Okay.
So we'll start with last
Minutes.
minutes of the last meeting.
We didn't meet in
We
February.
did not meet in February, so these are February, so we didn't meet in March. Anybody wants to accept them?
Make a motion that we accept the meeting for February 16th, 2021 as presented.
I will second that.
We just put them back, right?
You don't have to do a roll call, just you're all present.
Perfect. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And we can move right into,
Yep, you can announce if the case is online, looking for a while, and you can announce if that's withdrawn.
okay. Case number 21-03 has been withdrawn, so we will move on. All zoning board case 2101.
Just like that. Oh, okay. So I guess.
Right behind, just turn the dial so that it's number 0. It's number 0. They're listed out of order. It's on the top.
It was. Yeah, it was, right? Scott's our vice chair.
No.
I think he says you're right. I think it's just. I think this is
Thank you. All right. Not that anyone wants to listen to this, but my name is Jeff Lewis. I'm from North Point Engineering, the engineer who's helped put this application together. This is Brian Paco from U-Haul, who's the applicant. So he can answer any questions or talk about the business here. I'll just kind of jump right in. I have a quick overview, let you know why we're here. We have several applications, variances, and special exceptions associated with expansion at the existing U-Haul facility. So real quick, I'll just stay right here, give a point to the plan. That plan up there is just a map of the existing parcels. There's 3 parcels. The parcel on the left, which is the big parcel, is the existing U-Haul facility. It's on 304 Laconia Road. It's 12.7 acres. RC. That's the parcel on the right. So actually, maybe you get the point to these things. There you go. So that's the big parcel. So that's existing. Everyone probably been you know where it is. Lockyer is directly to the north. In fact, the main entrance to Lockyer goes through Brian's parcel right there. That's the main driveway to Lockyer. And then the U-Haul facility just across the wetland and power line right there. And then they made their driveway entrance. And as you come in their driveway, you see the first building on the left. Point to that. That's the little two-story wooden structure, which is their small office retail on the first floor, and then a caretaker apartment, an on-site caretaker who lives there on the second floor. Then there's a bigger building to the right, about a 7,500 square foot building, which is an indoor self-storage right now. So they have, that's a climate controlled indoor self-storage units there. And then in the back, they have 5 buildings, which are the conventional outdoor self-storage access via overhead doors from the outside. And then in the very back of the site, they actually have a paved parking area where they have some outdoor storage, so vehicles and boats, stuff like that. People who store those things. And then on the right-hand side of the power lines, they have a little gravel area where they store some of their rental equipment. So they are providing both rental equipment, trucks and equipment rental, as well as self-storage from this facility. And they've been here, you purchased that property. It's been a while. It's been there for a while. It's obviously an existing use. One of the struggles we had in trying to identify what's been permitted out there before was that some of the records of the town had been misplaced or lost. So we believe that part of the uses there had been allowed by variances or special exceptions in the past. But clearly they're there, so we're going to probably use it at this point. So that's the existing operation. U-Haul has recently, several years ago now, purchased the 2 properties to the west. The small property right there is, let's see, it's about 1 acre, and it has an existing single-family house that's vacant, has been vacant for a number of years at this point. It has its own driveway access. The plan is to take that house down, to facilitate the expansion. And then there's the larger piece in the back, which is several acres in size. That's an undeveloped parcel. So the plan is to consolidate all these parcels. Yeah, just flip it around. So this is showing the first sheet that I handed out to you folks. And that shows the expansion. So there's really nothing that's changing on the existing site. What we are proposing is a new second driveway access up Laconia Road, you can see there, and then coming in to the proposed building. And the new building is the feature, that's obviously the big part of the expansion here. It's an 86,000 square foot total gross floor area building. And it'll have two distinct uses inside of it. The right-hand side of the building is going to be indoor self-storage, so they're expanding the self-storage component of the site. It's 3 stories of indoor self-storage, so it'll be an elevator with access to the ground floor from the front of the building, and then elevator access to the upper 2 floors. So there'll be about 700 self-storage units in that building, ranging in size from 25 square feet to 150 square feet in the building. The left-hand side of that building is going to be a warehouse, so it'll be 3-story high warehouse that they'll be storing U-box, what they call U-box portable container storage units, similar to the MyBox storage, which is right down the street from the site, which is those are the big portable containers that you see that they bring to your house or your work, and you fill them up and then they bring them back and they store them here inside until you need to access them. The customers come through the facility to access them, or they can transport them back to wherever they're going. So those are 2 separate kind of uses in there. There will obviously be staff working in the what we'll call the warehouse part of it, or the U-box storage part of the building, and then the right side of the building will be that self-storage component. So we are proposing to connect the 2 parcels, the driveway connection there, so there'll be better circulation throughout the facility. And we do have an expanded parking lot in the front of the new building, which is where they'll probably store some of the U-Haul trucks that they rent. So they still do have a rental component on the site. And we're proposing an access around the building, really just to get some fire access and maintenance access around the building. We'll probably make that a gravel drive around the building, so it won't really be for customers back there, but just for to get better access to the back of the site. A couple changes on the existing site in terms of the use. They're going to move the retail component and then the small office retail out of that first floor of the wood frame building and move into the bigger building. So they'll be taking some of the self-storage out of that building and converting it into a larger retail showroom area. So that'll be the main function. The main function of the business will be out of that area. That'll be all the rental component. They'll have, I think, some of the U-box storage portable units set up in there for like display, and all the rental items will be in that area. So they need a little bit larger space than what they have in the existing kind of shop right now. So we've identified about 4,000 to 4,500 square feet of that building might be turned into a retail showroom. And then the first floor of the existing retail area will just be used for storage of supplies. It will not be a customer area. And then the caretaker will continue to live upstairs. So it's a small change of use to the existing building, but there's no other change to the expansion of the buildings on site or any of the circulation or anything like that. It's mainly just the expansion next door. So that's kind of the overview. Get into a little bit of detail there. The reason we're here for you folks is we have 4 variances. 2 of them are use variances. The first one is for motor vehicle sales and rental, which is not a permitted use in the rural commercial district. That is an existing use out there right now, which obviously is grandfathered. However, because we are going to be storing some of the trucks, rental trucks on the new parcel, it's an expansion of that use. So we think that we need a variance in order to expand the use on all the parcels. It's not really going to be expansion of that use other than removing some of the trucks which are parked in the front of the existing site and storing them over here with better circulation. But technically that's a variance that we do need because it's not an allowed use. Similarly, warehousing, the storage of the portable containers in that warehouse would be considered a light industrial use, which is not a permitted use in the resort commercial district either. So that would also need a variance. So those are the two use variances that we have associated with this. We have two dimensional variances as well. The first is building height, the three-story building we have as 45 feet high to the peak, and it's only 40 feet of building height is allowed in the RC zone. So we're asking for variance to extend that from 40 to 45 feet. And then also requesting variance from parking, which is a little bit unique on the site. The best interpretation we have of the parking requirements in this ordinance is one space per 300 square feet for commercial uses, which would require 356 parking spaces on this site, which if you know how a self-storage facility works, there's no parking, they just park right in front of the units. We do have parking spaces in front of the new building, but when there's 5 or 6 people there at a time, we obviously have some customer parking. We've identified 37 total spaces on the site, which will handle the 3 or 4 maximum employees that would ever be there, as well as 30 plus customers if they need marked spaces. So it sounds like a significant reduction. I've seen this before on sites where there really is no great way to identify how many parking spaces you need for self-storage use. So they're not going to mark out space in front of each overhead door. That's not the way that's typically done. So we are requesting a variance for that. We also have 2 special exceptions. We have 4 variances and 2 special exceptions. Special exceptions are both related to use. The first is self-storage. Actually, is a use allowed in the resort commercial district by special exception. So we are looking to expand the self-storage use into the new building. So we are looking for a special exception for that use expansion. And also, any retail space greater than 3,000 square feet requires a special exception in the RC zone. And we are proposing to convert that existing building on the site into retail showroom that will be around 4,500 square feet. So that would be a special exception as well for those 2 uses. So that's the overview of the proposal and the items we're seeking relief from the ordinance from you folks tonight. We've obviously submitted all the questions for the variance and criteria for special exception that I'm happy to go through. I don't know if you want us to answer any questions you may have before we do that, or what your preference would be. But it's all part of the written application we've submitted.
I'll leave it to you guys. You want to ask some questions first, or do you want to?
Well, I think if there's any others, I don't know if any of these people right here.
I have a question in regards to your parking. If the spots, and let's just call that the darker gray, if that is where you're going to house your U-Haul, where are customers coming in to possibly rent one or discuss business or storage when you're going to park?
So there's going to be parking here.
So U-Hauls are going to be parked over there, not into the new pavement.
You also, there'll be we call them shop, we don't like call them storing or they're going to be right here. Customers are going to come in through here, they're going to come in the showroom. Once they get their access, they'll be able to pull through with the flow. Park right into the building. There'll be really no customers. I don't know if you guys are familiar with storage. I've been doing it for about 20 years. Customers really don't. There's not going to be vehicles that sit there all day. So they're going to come in 15 minutes, maybe the first day they move in 30 minutes, moving their stuff in. They're going to put a little.
Excuse me, can I make a suggestion? I'm sorry, I'm just gonna, this is Melissa Howard. I'm just gonna make a technical suggestion if you would not mind. And that is that if all of you shut your microphones off unless you are speaking, I think that the echo will stop. I think that the microphones are picking up, several microphones are picking up one voice.
I don't know how to do it.
I agree, and I can barely hear what you're saying. And the other thing that the people who are not at the meeting have no access to what you're showing on your picture post board there. So we're sort of wondering what you're, we can't see that.
Okay, unfortunately, we don't have, the ability to show the board and the public at the same time. We can see the plans online if you go to the zoning board cases at Tilton's website. And if you have a specific question regarding it, I'm sure the applicant can turn it and point out what you're looking for after, but we don't have technology right now to show the board and the public. So if you have a question, they can turn it and try to show you on the camera, or you look at the plan online.
So I'm in a butter to the property. I can't hear really anything you're saying. So I really have, I can't, there's no point of me being here because with all the feedback, I can't hear you and I can't see what you're talking about. So I'm the owner of Tilton Vet Hospital. I'm a butter to the property and I feel like I have no access to what's going on in this meeting right now.
Can you turn that towards, because we have a map of that.
If we can turn it over to you, can you hear me now?
No, you are, I hear you like 6 times. So what you say is trampled over by 6 different echoes.
Try it again. Again, speak again.
I'm going to speak again, Janice. Number 4.
Do you have one microphone you could pass around and just unhook the other one?
That's a great idea.
Just a thought.
Well, if the concern is COVID, which is why they're absent from you, we should be passing stuff around anyway.
The public, if anyone is local and wants to come in person, we are that house, just so everyone knows we are completely local.
So that doesn't, that's not clear on the invitation that it says that the public was welcome virtually.
The public is welcome virtually, but we are also live, is what all I was saying.
Well, I can't hear you and I can't see what you're talking about. So as an abutter, I feel like I'm a little bit not in the loop here.
Well, if you have you are in a butter, we can hear you. If you have a question or you want to see the plan, you're welcome to speak to the plan.
I'm sorry, I'm not even sure what you just said. It's too hard to hear what you're saying. I could barely hear what the presentation was with all the echo, but when with all the other people's microphones on, it's unclear on what you're saying.
Sarah, can you hear me now? Sarah, can you hear me?
I can hear you with like 5 echoes behind what you're saying, and it's very difficult to hear you.
How about now?
Better.
I don't know if it's that out there that's causing it.
It could be.
Just like one of them.
Wait, you have 2 speakers right next to each other?
I'll shut them right down.
Yeah.
Just shut. Leave one on.
I left that one on. Is that any better?
Is that any better now, Sarah?
There's still a lot of echo. I mean, generally what I've understood, if there's multiple computers on in the same room, you're getting feedback because of the different computers.
Yeah.
We only have one mic turned on right now, so we're not sure where the feedback's coming from. Is everybody else having the same problem?
Yeah. Yeah. You're absolutely echoing when you're speaking.
Yet I can hear her just fine.
I can hear you too, Sarah.
Yeah, we can hear you as well.
Oh, he's picking up his daughter.
Is that
Whoever just spoke, your voice is the most echoey.
my voice?
So, I mean,
This
No, the leader, the woman, I believe, who's leading the meeting. Yeah,
It'll be weird.
I mean, it might just be this room.
The room is concocted. That's definitely true.
All right, we'll try and get a hold of you next. To put the board mask, so that was Jean. And she's on as well. She says that she can not really make out. She's just talking very slowly. She's trying to get a hold of him to put that. So.
Try that, like over there, Dan, if you're like, on the table.
Oh, it's terrible when everyone's talking at once.
Yeah, that thing on too?
No, she shut that.
I shut it off.
We're just trying to use that mic just on the table.
Just one. That's a good idea.
Oh,
Maybe
let me
if
get
we
it.
just unplug that one wire.
And we'll have to turn, what number is that?
And you know what, they used to really get it, you know, because it's like the hearing was just. Really a lot of problems here. Can you just, yeah. I think Jean called me.
Sarah, Melissa, can you give me some feedback? Can you hear me?
It's better.
Is there an
Yes,
echo?
yes, no, that's great.
Let's shut everything down and just leave that one on. Yes, the mic.
Yeah, yeah.
Here we go.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you guys for your patience.
Yep. Can we pass that underneath there?
Yeah.
You got the board covered from this end.
Nobody has.
Don't pull too hard.
You got it. You pull it your way.
It's tangled on.
This way. We've got enough, Janet.
Never know.
Sorry about that. There, we've got enough for it.
How's that?
That sounds good.
Sounds good? How about
Beautiful.
if they-
Can you hear us, Peter?
Wait, we have enough, can you hear them speaking up front, the presenters?
Can you hear us? Hello?
That's much
Yeah.
better.
Yes, much better.
Let's take our mask down when we're talking.
Let's
So
ask
we'll talk
you
one at a
camera
time,
facing
so
you.
with the mask down, just talk.
All right.
Do you want us to try to run through that again? With the-
I think we're gonna
Can't
need
really
to.
make out what's saying.
I think we're gonna need to, we're gonna make the presentation, they're gonna make the presentation again. And we'll turn the map towards you so you can see it, okay?
Okay.
That's right.
I know, but
The camera is up.
I'll reiterate again.
then they can't see it.
You can explain, let it show the button.
No.
You want me to just do this?
Yeah, if you just do that, just give them a quick rundown and then we'll catch back up again. You may, they may not be able to hear you though.
Take the
Because the
mic.
speaker's over here, so.
Well, like, yeah, he holds it, you come talk.
He can hold it, can you talk?
Yeah. So you're gonna have to do the finger points.
Just do the finger point.
Okay, so I'll run through the site, Brian, if you can point to the, so this is the existing U-Haul, the existing,
Ask them if they can hear.
can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, so the existing U-Haul facility at 304 Laconia Road is the large parcel that's highlighted on that first map. It's, if you probably know where it's located. Lockmere Country Club is directly to the north. In fact, the driveway for Lockmere, the main driveway goes right through the north end of this parcel. So there's several buildings on the existing parcel. When you come in the main driveway entrance to the site, there's an existing small building right to the left. That's the existing small office and retail, and it has a second floor with a caretaker apartment on the second floor. So there's an on-site caretaker there. The larger building to the right is an indoor self-storage, climate control building. So there's a number of indoor self-storage units in that building. And then behind, there's 5 buildings, which are the conventional self-storage buildings with outside access. They also have outdoor storage paved area at the back of the site where they store, customers store vehicles and boats and RVs and stuff like that. Then they have a small area on the right-hand side of the site. There's a gravel area underneath the power lines where they store rental equipment that they rent. So the existing facility has two uses, primary uses right now. There's the self-storage use, and then there's also the rental and retail use. So they do have truck rentals and other equipment rentals from the site out of that small office. U-Haul also owns, they purchased several years ago, the two adjacent parcels to the south there on Laconia Road. The first one is a small parcel, about an acre, that has an old house on it. It's an old single-family house with a driveway on Laconia Road. That's been vacant for some time now. Their plan is to take that house down. They also own the larger piece, which is several acres in size, which is an undeveloped lot. So they're planning to merge those three parcels into one parcel, which would be about 17 acres, and expand the business. Now you can probably flip that around, Brian. And this is the plan that shows the expansion. So the existing site there with the existing parking and paved areas in kind of light gray. And then to the south, we have the proposed building, which is a large 86,000 square foot gross floor area building. It's 3 stories high, and it has 2 distinct uses in the building. The right-hand side of the building is going to be 3 stories of indoor climate control self-storage. There'll be access from the front of the building to the ground floor for customers to come into that building. There'll be an elevator in the building that they can go up to the 2nd, 3rd floor, and that'll be about somewhere around 700 indoor self-storage units, ranging in size from 25 square feet to 150 square feet. So that'll be expanding the self-storage use on the parcel. And then the left side of that building will be a warehouse type indoor use where they'll be storing what they call U-Box, which are portable containers for storage. Those are the type of larger size portable boxes that can be transported to people's individual homes or businesses, where they can be loaded up and then brought back to this site for storage inside the building, so customers can come and access them on the site or have them transported elsewhere off-site. So that'll be a 3-story high warehouse on the left-hand side of that building. So we are proposing a new driveway access on Laconia Road that will come into the site right there and serve this new building. There is a driveway connection to the existing facility, so we'll have kind of a loop or through circulation, which will be better than the existing site. They're proposing some parking for the rental trucks in the front of that new site. The pavement closest to Laconia Road will be for rental equipment, rental trucks. And then there's some customer parking directly adjacent to the building. We are proposing a drive around the backside of the building just for emergency access, maintenance, stuff like that. There will not be any customers going around the backside of the building. And on the existing site, everything will pretty much remain the same. The one change they're doing is they're going to move the existing small retail office in the 1st floor of the caretaker building. They're going to move that over to the existing climate controlled self-storage building, and they're going to renovate about 2/3 of that building to create a larger retail and a showroom in that building. And that will become the main office and the hub of the site. So any customers coming into the site to rent vehicles or equipment, or are interested in purchasing a self-storage unit, will come into that building. And that will be where the operation is run from. I think that's it for that part of it. Then we had walked through why we're with the zoning board tonight. We have 4 variances and 2 exceptions. One variance is for motor vehicle sales and rental, which is not a permitted use in the resort commercial zone. Obviously, they do have motor vehicle sale and rental on the property now. Be expanding that onto the new parcels. Warehousing is the use that is categorized that the storage of the U-Box use would fall into, and that light industrial warehousing is not a permitted use in the RC district, so we're requesting a variance for that. And then we have 2 dimensional variances, one for building height. There's a 40-foot limit on the building in the RC zone, and we would like to go to 45 feet, so it's just a small increase there. And parking, which is a little unusual, the commercial parking requires 1 parking space for 300 square feet of commercial area. And if you count all the self-storage commercial use, we're required to have 356 parking spaces on site, which is far in excess of what's needed for a self-storage use. We're proposing 37 parking spaces, which is more in line with what would actually be needed on a site like this. So those are the 4 variances. And then we have 2 special exceptions, both associated with uses. The self-storage facility is a use that's allowed by special exception in the RC zone. So we have a special exception request to allow self-storage to be expanded onto the adjacent parcel. And the retail showroom we're planning to convert, because it's going to be more than 3,000 square feet in size, it's proposed to be 4,500 square feet. It requires a special exception. Any retail space in excess of 3,000 square feet requires a special exception in the RC zone. So those are the 2 special exceptions that we're requesting. So 2 special exceptions, 4 variances in total. That's where I left off. Oh,
Good, sir.
That was much clearer. Thank you very much. I could hear everything you said.
Okay, you guys are all set?
yeah,
At this point?
yeah,
Cool.
yep.
Are you okay with letting the public make their comments first? Is that a good flow? Yes, okay.
Well, yeah,
That's fine, just that we seem to have this technically working.
yeah, exactly.
So
That's why I said, yeah, go right ahead.
figuring we should jump on that. So just because we seem to have this working technically right now, we'll save questions from the board. And I'd like to give abutters a chance to speak now that we seem to have our audio worked out. What's that? Yeah. So if there are any abutters or anybody from the public that want to make any comments at this point, we'll take a second to let that happen.
I have a couple questions.
Yep.
So my first question is, there's already been a lot of clearing of the trees and stuff behind the existing house that they're talking about taking down. I'm wondering, is this new development, are they planning on taking more of that woods or the forest down to the south side of the new proposed building?
Do you know if that's well to the south?
So I guess I'm wondering, are you planning on clearing more of the trees that, or have you cleared everything that is needing to be cleared to put that building in?
Anything that we're clearing that's left is going to be very small stuff to what we're clearing. The side that you're on, there where you can see, and I'll show you quickly.
She down there?
Yeah, she's on the side. I want to show you on the map. The side that you're on here, we're not touching any of this, right, at all. We're not touching any of this side, but you're located over here. The house right now is approximately right about here.
Okay,
So
okay.
we're getting into, but honestly, we're not touching any of that. As you can see on the map, it's rich as a wet zone, so we're not going to touch.
There's a large wetland right there, so we will not be getting very close to the south property line right there.
I'm sorry, Sarah, if you didn't hear me. I just want to make sure you heard that.
No, I heard that. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So it sounds like the answer to the question is the vast majority of the clearings.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then I just have one more question. Is there going to be fencing put around all this new development?
At this point, we're not planning on fencing. Right, Brian? I mean,
No, everything's going to be individually alarmed inside the building. It's going to be security, secure. We're going to know who's in the building. That's what you're talking about, is the building, correct, Sarah?
Correct.
Yeah, we're going to know who's on the lot. Anybody comes in that building, swipes in, swipes out. Every individual unit is secured. So if Matt came in and he swiped in, I know Matt's in my building. There's going to be, our technology with security is a whole nother level now.
So the security is the building itself, not fencing around.
Not fencing, no, there's not going to really be need, because right now we don't have any fencing that secures anything now anyways. Anybody can get on the property. So we're not, as far as the outside, there will be none, no.
Does it answer your question, Sarah?
Yes, thank you very much.
Can I go follow up on that? Are there any cameras outside the property?
Oh, yes.
There are.
Oh, yes.
Well,
Does anyone else have any questions?
I think there's people with their application.
Okay. Awesome. So seeing none, we'll turn the discussion back amongst ourselves. And if you guys have any questions for them, I have a couple of you. Want to start?
Fire away.
Oh, no.
No, take it.
I already did the.
Are you gonna be combining these 3 lots
Yes,
into one lot?
yes.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay. Notice driving out there, and I don't know whereabouts this building, when you get in the back of the lot, that goes up steep.
Yep.
So you're gonna be out in front of that quite a ways? We're not gonna be up against that, or,
There's going to be a cut into that slope.
okay, and so what about erosion on that? How is that gonna
Well,
be handled?
Yeah, we'll be going to multiple things. We have a couple wetland impacts. There's some pocket wetlands in there, so we'll be looking for a wetlands permit from DES. We'll be needing an alteration or terrain permit from NHDES as well, because we're over 100,000 square feet of impact. We'll be planning board approval for the site plan application. So we'll be going to the Conservation Commission, the planning board, and DES for 2 permits, state of New Hampshire for driveway permit. So drainage and erosion control will be a huge part of that site development. We'll have to meet all this local and state standards for stormwater management. That's what we're working on right now. If we're successful here, we'll be going right to the planning board with those applications.
And that'll be reviewed by our engineers.
Yeah. Is the driveway that you're proposing in the dark gray, the new driveway, is that where the existing house driveway is now, or whereabouts is the existing house driveway?
It's very close to it. The existing driveway is right there, and the new driveway's 20 feet to the south of it.
I mean the vacant house.
Sorry, the vacant house.
Yeah. I'm talking about the house you're gonna tear.
Yeah.
Yes.
So basically,
So that is almost where that driveway
Yeah.
is. So basically you're just moving that
moving
driveway.
it about 20 feet, making it wider. Yeah.
And I noticed on your map, you're gonna have people coming in and out at both driveways. You're not gonna have one-way flow of traffic, meaning they drive in your current location and they drive out the new location.
So there's multiple site circulation patterns. It depends what they're coming there for, right? If the people are coming over out here, they'll probably come in and out that entrance. If there's new customers coming to rent, they'll be directed to come in this entrance right here because they'll be going to that building right there. So anybody new to the site will be right here, and there's parking spaces out in the front for that. If you're renting something over here, then you can come in either, probably depend on which direction you're coming from. You'll be coming this here and park right there, or you'll come in here and park right there. But this driveway will also be used for the U-Box. So they'll be coming in here, backing in. There's actually a loading dock right here for all the U-Box will come in and out right here. So we need a big driveway right here for maneuverability for trucks which is really why we have this kind of leg over here, really just for trucks to come in and turn around right there. We'd like all the vehicles that are accessing this to come in this driveway and not try to come in here and snake through and around. So
What's the size of trucks that you're talking about?
we have that for just a WB50. I mean, it's a 50-foot box truck.
Yeah, 52-foot box truck that comes in, backs right in, and basically we have it now. Our existing property now, it comes in, and what's happening, we kind of designed this because we've been there already, right? So we knew what was happening. It's getting congested. So now they're coming anyways here, and it congests a whole lot. It's in the middle of everything. It makes no sense. So the idea, and I want to add on, because I'm the president, so I actually work the locations. These customers are going to come in, check in here, okay, I need storage, boom. Now we're not creating any more congestion out here. The flow, if a tractor trailer comes in, boom, you can come right out here, back right in. There is no congestion on the main road or anything like that. It's kind of just one movement of circulation, what's going on. Now, if I have a customer who's existing in storage, like you said, they're going to come in there, go right into storage.
So you mentioned about you're gonna rent other things. What are the other things you're gonna rent? You talked about you're gonna expand what you're
Well,
renting.
he's unfamiliar. We're going to do what we normally do, what we have there now. There's nothing expanding. We're
Okay,
gonna,
so it's just.
everything we're doing now, we've outgrown it.
So you're not increasing the number of vehicles you're renting out?
No.
You're just doing the same thing?
The same
Okay,
thing.
so you're not going into power equipment or?
No,
renting
so
some
instead of my 50-year-old manager walking all the way back here for trucks now, for our shunting lanes where our trucks are being held, she's gonna have to save her legs and last a little bit longer as my employee walking over here. And that's realistically some of the stuff that's gonna happen. We're not adding anything. We're not adding more trucks. Honestly, I don't want any trucks there. The more they rent, the more money we make. That's the idea. The more customers we can serve. So having trucks there doesn't do anything to our business, truthfully.
We're just moving the trucks onto the new parcel. So technically, because we're going to be storing the trucks there or shunting them there, it's one of the variances. So when I said expand, it's really expanding the use, meaning moving the use over here, but we're not planning to expand
Our
the
showroom.
actual
You're expanding storage.
self-storage,
Absolutely.
self-storage, yes.
Adding additional storage, and we're expanding our showroom. That's probably what it meant. Our showroom now is probably this little office area right here, that's bigger than our showroom.
Not expanding your truck rental aspect.
No,
Correct.
no, not whatsoever.
Can you explain in the big building, you mentioned, or it was mentioned during the presentation, something about elevators to go from the first to the second to the third floor.
Mhm.
That's going to be operated by the individual, not by an employee of you?
No, that'll be operated by a customer.
Okay. Is there any chance of whatever's falling off in that, or how does that work? I mean, what does that look like? Is it a regular elevator where the door closes and they're boxed in, or is it a platform that goes up?
Regular elevator, like you see in a hospital,
Okay.
customer puts in their goods in a cart, they get in the elevator, they press what floor they're on, to a point where they swipe what floor they're on, and it only lets them on their floor.
Okay.
So it's very secure.
So they put their stuff onto the elevator and it
Yeah.
goes up.
And they go with it. It's a passenger elevator, regular, nothing special, no trickery or anything like
Is
that.
there stairs also?
They're gonna have to.
Yeah, it
Yes.
has to be.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
The
Thank you.
one thing I should have mentioned that I didn't mention is Brian, U-Haul Company New Hampshire, so they have more than just this, which maybe you've gathered, this facility. He's got all facilities in New Hampshire, so including some that are being expanded right now and developed right now. So they have a really good handle on the operation, how to do this, how these uses go together. So he has stuff across the state, so well versed in this use.
I have one question for you. Do you have there now, or are you planning on putting in a bay to install trailer hitches, wiring? Is that, do you have that currently there? or
We don't have that currently there. We are putting a bay in there that's going to do, we don't know how much we're gonna do there, if anything like that. That's going to be part of this process of expanding this retail area. Where they're gonna sell the bike racks. Bike racks are now a big thing.
Okay.
It's part of our sales
So,
floor now. She's
yeah,
selling
the
that now.
Existing building,
Mhm.
the larger existing building there in the front.
Yep.
And are any of the other entrances going to be gated, like the one gate that you have there now? Are you going to be able to go into the storage and get over to the existing property?
No, so what's gonna end up happening, is you're gonna have the gate there.
Yep.
This is all gonna be individually alarmed. So we're upgrading our alarm systems
Mhm.
individually to secure the whole place. So the gates honestly have become obsolete. Anybody that has the storage now, they have gates because it's a saving cost, I guess, but we're upping our security. We're not gonna allow someone, we're gonna know who's in our property. We're gonna know who's touching a building, who's touching a door or rolling it up or whatnot. So honestly, the gates are kind of an old thing in the past.
Okay. Thank you.
What's the reason the building's 45 foot? Like, what's preventing you from staying within the 40-foot height restriction?
Well, the fact that they want a 3-story building and
So in order for it to be 3 stories, it has to be 45 feet.
yeah, I don't have that is the preferred way to have a slanted roof and have it go to the pitch to the back and build the building that they want, that they're accustomed to seeing. And U-Haul has, it would be 45 feet, yeah. So, I mean, if we didn't get that variance, they go back to the drawing board and come up with something different. This is the best suited for the site. We're hoping that we could get that, knowing that there's a sloped site behind it. I think that goes into kind of the criteria of the variance, which I'm happy to, talk about. And just, although if you want me to go into that.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, should we have them go through their stance on each
Yeah, you can
5?
start, yeah.
Okay.
You all have it too, right?
And just as a question of formality, because there's like 20 individual items we'll have to go through,
Actually,
correct?
it's 30 if there's 6.
Yeah, and then in these special
Well, there's-
exceptions, are
I
even.
think they combine, right? Is
Yeah.
that how they kind of, similar to how Honda did it, if you remember? They responded to them together. I think
Okay.
I think that's how you addressed it, right?
That's how we addressed it in the written response. I mean, we can get into and elaborate. I think some of them are, you know, two of them are special exceptions with different criteria than the variance, right? So if you want to go through the variance ones, we could do that, and I could.
Sure, I guess I'm comfortable putting them as one chunk, as long as you guys are comfortable with it and everybody else is on board with that.
Well, and just for clarification, if they're going to combine all three lots, they have a variance for number 3 now, right, to have motor vehicle rental on the current lot they have,
Right.
correct?
Yep.
If they combine those lots together, does that not give them the right to have the motor vehicle variance on the full lot that's combined together where they already have it on the
Not
lot?
necessarily.
Not necessarily?
You should get, right. And that's
So
what
they
he-
get a
that's-
variance for the new lot, or they get a variance for all 3 lots? That's my question, because right now they have, we're talking about 3 different lots. We're talking about 2 new lots versus the current lot they have, which they already have the variance, correct?
Yeah,
Correct.
correct.
Right.
Well,
So is the
they've had-
question, are we giving them a variance for once it's all combined, or are we giving the 2 lots a variance?
That's what I want to know.
Well, you're giving them a variance on, because right now it's still 3 lots. They haven't been to planning.
Correct.
So you're giving them a variance for the lots that do not have a variance to allow that.
So it's for the 2 lots, not as 1 unit. Okay.
Right, because it's not 1 unit.
So,
You know,
so
it's important to note that it is going to be lot merged.
I
Yeah, I
know,
think
we
part-
need to have that in our, I think, in our discussion, that what we're actually doing,
Okay, yeah.
correct?
Well, would it matter really if we?
Well, it
grant
does
the
matter,
variance
because
for
what
the
are we actually giving?
2 new lots and then they merge it into one, it wouldn't matter.
No, but I almost think it's a no-brainer because they already have it next to it.
I agree.
I mean,
But
the
we
rental.
gotta go run through it.
Sure, yeah, I still have to go through the steps. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think our part of our just confusion and knowing how to, and we put this together, and we met with Leanne a couple of times, and we actually met with her predecessor a couple of times, a couple of years ago, to make sure we're getting everything right, because there is some history to the parcel, and we weren't sure entirely what's been approved on the parcel before in terms of a site plan of record. It's very clear to us that there was some type of variance, a special exception granted, but we don't exactly know what that was. So we were thinking that clearly the existing uses there are permitted somehow, they're there. But we may as well just capture everything right now so that there's a record of it. And I agree, we were not thinking that the motor vehicle sale or rental would be an issue. That was kind of something we just realized because want to park some vehicles over there, we should include that one as well, which I think is the right thing to do. Just get the whole project legit and approved, you know, for all the uses we want to do on there. So that being the case, the variance criteria, if you want me to just go through that, I can just paraphrase some of this stuff and we can, you know, stop if there's questions, I guess. Granting the variance would not be contrary to public interest. I think this, you know, what this says is all components of the proposed facility are in high demand by the public. Obviously, self-storage units, including portable units, are in high demand throughout the state. Expansion of this existing commercial facility along the Route 11 corridor is very practical to the public. It's a low traffic generator, very low traffic generator, so it should not have any adverse impacts on traffic in the area. It'll provide a benefit to the public by creating additional storage units. If approved, the variance will allow the property to function at its highest and best use, which is what we absolutely believe. It's existing there, so we're talking about just expanding an existing use that's already there in the resort commercial district. Number 2, if the variance were granted, the spirit of the ordinance would be observed because, and we say that the spirit and the intent of the ordinance is to promote health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community while also allowing the reasonable productive use of property. This is an existing facility that is looking to expand in order to meet the demands for its products and services of the local residents. The 4 variances requested are all reasonable in nature and necessary in order for the facility to expand as desired. The uses are all compatible with the surrounding properties and will not create any undue burden. The size and location of the parcels make it suitable for the proposed expansion. In this way, the spirit of the ordinance will be observed if the variance is granted. Number 3, granting the variance would do substantial justice. It would allow the local business to expand its current operation in a manner that does not have any detrimental impact to the community or neighborhood. It would allow the local business to continue to meet the growing demands of the residents. It will increase the tax bases of the town. In all these ways, it's substantial justice would be done by granting the variance. Again, I would say that with the lack of apparent neighborhood opposition to this, I think that there's no real downside to these variance requests. Number 4, if the variance were granted, the values of the surrounding properties would not be diminished. Well, the expansion is to the south, which is in the direction of other commercial uses. I mean, we're headed in that direction on Laconia Road. Significant wooded buffers are maintained to both the west and the south of the proposed expansion. The facility being a low traffic generator again, and all vehicular access is directly onto a state highway. There's no reason to believe that any surrounding properties would be adversely affected by the granting of this variance. The properties that would be mostly affected are the ones that are directly across the street that can see this, which are again existing commercial uses. There's no real residences right here. I'm gonna have a view of this property. There's a couple down on Noyes Road. Is it Noyes Road? Noyes Road, right? That are further down the road that probably can't see up here. And if they are, they're looking at the existing facility, not the new facility. So we get to unnecessary hardship. And we have a couple criteria here. Owing to a special condition of the property that distinguish it from other properties, the denial of the variance will result in unnecessary hardship. The existing facility, to the best of our knowledge, is permitted and conforming to all previous town approvals. It's obviously been in existence. It's in operation there for quite some time. It's located on a 12.5 acre parcel of land with direct driveway access onto Laconia Road, which is a state highway. The proposed expansion of the existing use onto the 2 adjacent parcels is a reasonable and appropriate use within a commercial zoning district. There is no fair and substantial relationship between the general public purposes of the ordinance provisions and the specific applications of those provisions to the subject property. And then we talk about some of the specific stuff here with regards to the motor vehicle rental use. The existing facility is already approved for this operation. The variance request will simply allow the rental vehicles to be parked on the expansion site in order to provide better vehicular circulation through the property. This will enhance the existing business operation and provide a significant benefit to customers who are picking up and dropping off truck rentals. With regards to the light industrial warehouse use, this activity is ancillary to the self-storage use and serves the same general purpose. It's basically a different way to have the self-storage rather than keeping stuff in an individual unit. You're keeping it in a box, which is the same size as your unit. You're just allowed to take your box on and off site, but technically it's a warehouse use. So I think we're getting into a little bit of semantics here and having to categorize our use to meet the zoning ordinance. And that is not necessarily a fair and substantial relationship when this is a acceptable and appropriate ancillary use to the self-storage use. It provides an added service to the customers and that the rental units are portable rather than in a fixed location, such that they can be delivered directly to and from individual homes or sites. This use falls into the category of light industrial. Right, just paraphrase that already. Self-storage is permitted by special exception in the RC zone. Therefore, it stands to reason that the hardship is created by the ordinance definition rather than the actual proposed use. The proposed building height of 45 feet is only 5 feet higher than allowed in the RC zone. The subject property is unique in that it has a steep upward slope behind the proposed building. The building will be partially built into the slope. That slope extends well above the roof line of the building by about 20 to 30 feet up behind the building. So from a visual perspective, I don't think the building will appear as tall relative to the surrounding property as it would otherwise. If you were looking down on the property, you could see over the building. It was blocking a view of something, which is usually why you have the height restrictions on a building in the first place. As I mentioned before, if we were to have to lower that building, we'd probably have to modify the roof design. We're trying to have all the roof run up, go to the back of the site rather than dumping down onto the pavement in the front of the site, where we can keep it away from the active use of the site, where people can be parking and coming in and out of the building. Having it all directed to the back is ideal, and giving us that extra 5 feet really affords us that opportunity to pitch that building to the back, that roof. And then with regards to the parking, which I talked about before, self-storage use does not fit very well into the conventional methods for determining required parking spaces. The Tilton ordinance specifies 1 parking space for every 300 feet of commercial floor area. With 100,000 square feet of self-storage area on site, and along with the other smaller uses, the site is required to have 356 designated parking spaces per the ordinance. This is off the charts in terms of what is actually needed for this type of use. As I mentioned before, customers park their vehicles in the paved access drives directly adjacent to the units, if they're outside units. And with such low volume of use, this method for determining parking spaces really is not warranted for a site like this. There's just simply not a need for this number of excessive parking spaces. And again, we're going off of Brian's and his company's experience, and he can tell you all day long how many people are going to be on a site like this at one time. 37 parking spaces is more than he needs. We just have enough there to kind of spread them around the site, have them in different areas. And that seems to be what makes sense here. We definitely don't want to be adding unnecessary parking spaces where we don't need them. So we think that is a hardship in terms of the ordinance requirement. Those are the variances. The special exceptions are different criteria that I can go through, but maybe I'll stop there.
Why don't we tackle the variances?
Yeah.
Just because we're here and they're fresh, and then move on to the special exceptions.
I do have a thought that you're asking for a variance to perform light commercial in an RC zone, and what we didn't discuss is lighting, and which could have an impact on the people around. What kind of downlighting, and that's kind of being specific on that, are you going to install on this? Because I would imagine at night, you're gonna want this lit.
Oh, yeah, we want safety, right?
So like what I'm saying, you're in now an RC zone.
Mhm.
And is that gonna be lit up like the sun at night?
No, it'll be lit up enough for customer safety, to be honest with you.
So what
You don't
kind of
want
lighting are you thinking?
downlighting.
Down
You want it on the parking lot so customers can see where they're going. I don't want someone getting mugged by the boogeyman around the corner.
I agree, but it can't then impact all the others for light pollution.
So let me ask you, Eric, who's
Sure.
impacting?
Impacting, like I can no longer see the sky because it's being bleached out by your lighting because you're concerned of safety, but now you're overlighting because concerned of safety.
Understood what you're saying, but
Right.
my thing is, when people go in, I'm just asking because I'm kind of confused.
I hear you.
Who's going to be asking to look at the sky? There's no houses around.
Well, can
I'm
I
just
add
kind of
something to that?
confused.
So my answer to that, just to jump in and interject, is that relative to your question was relative to the light industrial warehouse, which is just associated with the portable units. So those customers will be coming during the day. They won't be coming at nighttime.
Yeah.
If they want to access their unit, those storage units. So the storage associated with the self-storage will have lighting on the building. It will be downcast. That is something we'll be submitting to the planning board that they'll be looking at as part of the whole lighting package to make sure that it's compliant. But it will be more associated with the self-storage use, not the light industrial warehouse use, which will only be daytime use.
Yeah, no, I was just commenting on the fact you're asking for variance to be in a different zone.
Yeah.
And my thought was the impact on people who are abutters.
Right. Yep.
For the example of Sarah, and maybe, she doesn't want her property lit up like that at night. So I
Yeah.
was just asking.
Yep.
How is the lighting going to differ from what you're doing now? Because you're already lighting your lot.
That's what I want to say, because if you look where Sarah's located, just so you know.
Right. Oh, I know where she
located
is.
Behind all these woods.
Right.
I'm not gonna really, why am I gonna light the fire lane? I'm
Right.
not really, I'm gonna light here, which probably won't even come nowhere near, and I'm gonna do what I'm doing now. I don't need a big electric bill, right? No one needs a big electric bill.
Are you still gonna have a caretaker on the property that you do now?
Yes,
Where are they gonna be located?
the same house that they've been in, right here.
Oh, okay.
Which is pretty good, because you always have someone on site. She's like the security guard, the cop, she's everything on that site, right? She sees everything.
Can I just ask Matt a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just have a question about, on the height map, is there what's our fire restriction? Can you get to 45 feet? That's not,
Oh,
that's not an issue for fire, right?
no.
Getting back to Eric's question in regards to lighting, you're asking for an exception to go up to 45 feet. Is there going to be lights on the top of that building down, broadcasting down? No,
It'll most likely be halfway, whatever's the right height.
but it'll be off the building, but you're not going to take advantage of the fact that you got a higher building.
No.
So you go higher with your lights.
No, there's no advantage for us on that one. It'd be, that's not a picture of the building, but it would be halfway down. There's no reason to do a light. We're not trying to land an airplane.
No.
I get what you're saying,
The
because I've seen that.
broadcast light out farther, the higher you go, the farther out you get the light up the market.
No,
That's the only reason I'm asking.
like we just recently did a project in Bedford, and the lights are literally half. So the building's about 15, 20 feet in the air, and we did it at half point, just down lighting, so people could see when they're walking around the outside.
And the only entrance for the people to come in is that indentation into the building right there in the front.
Right here?
To get into that big building is right in the front,
Yes.
Right here, yes.
right there. Thank you.
Anyone have any other questions?
Almost set.
Good. So we'll probably close the
I would
public
ask if
session.
they had anything based on what they heard in the criteria, and if they don't, then you close them. So give Sarah more chance if she had anything.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Thank you, Matt.
So if anybody online has any comments they want to make based on what we just went through, this is the opportunity now.
Before, should I do the special exception before you
We'll
close?
do
it?
the variances just because that's all fresh,
Okay, yep.
and we'll vote on that, and then
Okay,
we'll move on to
all
the next thing. So we'll close public comment
For the variances.
for the variances and kind of deliberate amongst ourselves, and then move from there.
Well, I think number 3 is, you know, they already have it on the other lot, so I think it's a no-brainer for number 3. There's everything for the motor vehicle rental, which they're looking for.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That one.
Have it as number 1. Oh, I see what you're saying.
It's on this page.
Yeah.
I'm going on what they gave us for an agenda. That's something.
Yeah.
I'll go from the same spot, so.
So-
same page.
I think, you know, we're looking at, that's a no-brainer. I mean, they already have that. And they're going to be combining, the intention is to combine all the 3 lots as one.
Yeah, there's no
So-
increase in
No.
volume.
No. So then you go to number 4, which is the variance from article for the lighting.
Well, it's not light, it's the,
To allow the light
Industrial.
industrial, warehousing and light industrial in the RZ zone.
I kind of see it as semantics.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, it's
It's
just being
doing
done
the same
inside of a
thing.
building.
Yeah, whether it's outside or inside, it's almost the same exact.
Can I
agree
add,
with that.
sorry, can I add one more thing or at this point? Just, one of the things that I didn't mention is that U-Box portable rental is basically the exact same thing that's happening across the street at the My Box. We're just putting it inside a building, which is secure. So,
So this is the other thing that I was gonna kind of say is a big thing for me on these is how does it fit in the area where this is happening?
Right.
And well, it's already happening here.
On both sides.
And
of
it's
the road.
already happening on multiple lots.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I would say this is cleaner.
I do too, because I think it's inside, especially in the winter months.
The
Contained,
whole thing.
Yes.
It's-
visually
as far as
contained.
Visually, it's
Yeah.
cleaner than a multiple of these
Yeah.
little
Absolutely.
pads, pods, whatever you want to call them, kicking around. It's contained within. I like that.
And that's why I asked them about the containers that they come in the back, of the tractor trailer to take them off. They go right inside. So it's not like they're stored outside like they are in My Box. They stack them up.
Right.
So,
Do you want to roll through them? 1 through 5 and
Yeah, we can do that. Do you guys have any other comments?
No.
No? Everybody's comfortable? They
Yep.
feel like we've voiced our opinion? So we want to start, and we're gonna take these as a chunk. That's what we've
Yeah, you
decided.
can look at each criteria and say, do all 4 variances meet
Apply
criteria
to that
1?
criteria.
Maybe that's the easiest way to do it.
Okay.
I think that's how you define that.
Sounds good. So we'll start with the first criteria, which is granting the variance would not be contrary to the public interest because I feel like, and from where I come from on it, we've kind of gone over that. It's what's been happening already. It happens on both sides. It's contained, even with the 5-foot variance for the height restriction. I agree that that's not, you're not going to notice 5 feet on that particular lot. It's going to be buried into a hillside. That's where I stand on it.
do it all.
All right, well, you guys ready to vote?
Yep.
I thought we. All right, so those in favor of granting, or are in favor of article, the first criteria, signify by saying aye.
I think we're gonna make a motion. and second.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I'll be able to make a motion on each criteria. I think what you do is you get a general consensus that anyone has any objection on criteria 1.
Move to the
No
second
one
one.
has any objection,
Okay.
go to 2, review it, and then you can make a motion.
As all as one motion.
You can make all as one
I was
motion.
gonna say, this
I
is
think
gonna
you're
get cumbersome fast.
Yeah, the only problem making, just if you make a motion for all 4 and someone disagrees with 1, you're gonna get a failure on all 4.
Yep.
So it might be cleaner to do a vote. I believe we usually do a vote on each one, but you can do it any way you like.
Okay,
In
that
case
sounds
somebody had
good.
an objection to 1.
If the variance were granted, the spirit of the ordinance would be observed. Again, I'm here, it comes back to what is happening in the area. How does it fit in with that part of our community? Comes right back to it's already happening and it's clean and contained for me. Granting the variance would do substantial justice. Give this individual opportunity to continue his business. Again, I don't think it impacts the communities.
I agree.
Other people can talk to you.
Yeah.
I agree. I would say so.
I agree.
I think, yeah, I agree, man. I mean,
I'm just being smart.
I know you are. And we're gonna make you pay for it too.
If the variance were granted, the value of the surrounding properties would not be diminished. Looking at this on Google Maps, there's not even a whole ton of development that I can really see outside of what already exists. This is the lot that would be developed. And if you take a vacant lot and you put something on it, you tend to make the
I
property
think they're definitely improving what's there now.
better out.
I mean, if you look at their sketch that they
Yeah.
presented to us, I mean, it's a professional looking building and I mean, it's clean. So I don't see how it would, diminish the values.
Number 5, unnecessary hardship. Going to a special condition of the property that distinguishes it from other properties in the area. Denial of variance would result in unnecessary hardship because no fair and substantial relationship exists between the general public purposes of the ordinance provision and the specific application of that provision to the property.
And I think that goes more, that number 5, I think goes more to the height of the building.
I agree. If it didn't have the lot, the hillside behind
Yeah, and
it,
they've got to put the water, instead of it coming towards the roadway, which is a big roadway, have it go to the back and then find some way to curtail it out there is a positive to the community as opposed to a negative.
the proposed use is a reasonable one. They're proposing to do the same thing they're doing next door.
Correct.
Okay, we can do these individually, just in the interest of not having the whole thing.
Unless
fit.
there's any objection, I guess if everyone feels they're comfortable with them as a group, that kind of can tell a story too. So if you want to do it as a group, I think that's for the board's.
No, I think we should do them each individual. And that way we have it on record that we went. right
Each one
down
was,
through.
each one was approved.
Sure.
I'll make a motion that we grant the variance for Article 6, G1 to allow motor vehicle rental in the RZ zone.
Second.
Okay. We don't have to have any discussion at this point, correct?
No, you just vote now.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That variance passes.
I'll make a motion that we grant the variance on Article 6, H2B to allow a warehousing and light industrial in the RC zone.
Second it? Can I second?
Yep.
Yeah. I'll second that. Those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Go ahead, take the last two, Eric. You can make the motions on that.
I propose to accept Article 7, maximum structure height to allow a 45-foot high building in the RC district where 40 feet is allowed.
I'll second that.
All right, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes.
I propose Article 3, Section 3-5, parking regulation section to allow 37 parking spaces where 356 are required.
I'll second.
Go ahead, Matt, you second.
Second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that one passes. On to the special exceptions.
Thank you. So I think the special exceptions are a little more straightforward, a little bit more questions. The two special exceptions we're asking for again are to allow the self-storage facility in the RC district, which is already existing there. We are looking to expand it, expanding the indoor self-storage component to the new building. And then Article 6, charter permitted uses, use E1B to allow retail sales fully enclosed within a building greater than 3,000 square foot floor area in the RC district. And that was to allow the conversion of the existing building or a part of that building to be used as a retail showroom, which right now they're expecting that to be around 4,500 square feet. That would include the trailer hitch bay that Brian was talking about. So they don't have that nailed down, but we were hoping to get an approval, special exception to allow up to 4,500 square feet, so they wouldn't have to come back to the zoning board once they get that all nailed down. We think that that's reasonable. We're not talking about a 4,500 foot grocery store here. We're talking about a small, it's an expanded showroom because they have equipment rental stuff they want to have in there, and a bay for the trailer hitch, and then their general office. But it does exceed 3,000 square feet, which require the special exception. So the special exception criteria are, number one, the specific site is an appropriate location for such a use. These are existing uses, so we definitely feel like we meet that. Number two, no factual evidence is found that the property values in the district will be reduced due to incompatible land use by such a use. Again, existing uses, no reason to think that that would be the case. Number three, there is no valid objection from the abutters based on demonstrable fact. I'm not hearing any abutter issues today at all. Four, no nuisance or hazard is involved. The proposed use will remain consistent with what is currently approved at the existing facility. No nuisance or hazards involved at all. We do talk about lighting, which is noted here. We'll definitely keep that compliant, dark sky compliant, and to the minimum needed just for the security of the customers at the front of the building. Number five, adequate and appropriate facilities will be provided for proper operation of the proposed use. Again, the site has direct access on the state highway. It's a low intense use with low traffic volumes. I don't know why that sentence is in there. That's clearly a mistake, and I'll have to strike that from the record. It's serviced by municipal water and sewer. That's not factual, so let me correct that. There's a on-site septic system and on-site domestic well, so there should not be any extra demand on the town. It should say the use is non-serviced. The proposed building will be sprinklered. Number six, there is adequate area for safe and sanitary sewage disposal. As I just mentioned, on-site septic will be provided along with a well. Very low intense use, probably lower than a single family house with a number of flushes of bathroom will get on there. Number seven, operations in connection with such a use shall not be more objectionable to nearby properties by reason of noise, fumes, odor, or vibration than would be the operation of any permitted use in the district, which are not subject to special exception procedures. Self-storage use is pretty low key. Associated retails during the daytime, it should not have any objectionable aspects greater than any other commercial use. That's it.
Your 37 spaces, is that accounting, is that a space, geez, can't speak. Assuming you have 4,500 square feet of retail space?
Yes, correct.
Actually, I should probably do public comment. We're on a separate thing here again. If anybody from the public would like to comment, just want to make sure we get that in.
Can they hear someone? Heard anything?
No, I don't. Hopefully you guys can still hear us.
We can still hear you, just no comment.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Same here, thank you.
Okay, you guys have any questions for him?
No, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, I don't think it's rocket science. I mean, they've got the existing building, they're just gonna change what they're doing in the front building, basically.
Again, this is already happening here.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, they've already, they're just moving things where they're doing it. So,
Okay.
go ahead, Chair, make the motion, and I will follow you.
All righty, we'll move on to the voting here. We need to re-go through all those.
No, the criteria is a little bit less stringent for special exceptions.
Yeah.
It's allowed by special exception. They don't have to, they have to answer the questions, but it's not like meeting
Okay.
the same level, so we can.
Sure, yeah, we can do that.
Okay, Article 6, Section E-10, to allow a self-storage facility in the RC district. Motion to approve.
Matt, I think.
All right, those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Passes. For the second one?
Motion Article 6, Section E1B, to allow retail sales fully enclosed within a building greater than 3,000 square foot area in the RC district.
A
Should
second?
we put a qualification of up to 4,500
Ooh, yeah,
Sure. Yeah, 4,500.
for you guys?
yeah.
Yeah, that's what they're talking about with the parking spots.
Right.
I put to the floor Article 6, Section E1B, to allow retail sales fully enclosed within a building no greater than 4,500 square feet in the RC district.
A second?
That was Brian.
Brian?
Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes.
All right, thank you all very much.
Right.
Appreciate the effort to get this multi,
See you again.
Yeah,
it worked.
good luck.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Now on to case 21-05, KRM Landscaping.
I'm going to recuse myself.
You? Yeah, you can come on up. Do we need to do anything as far as not having full board?
No, you still have 4, and all you need is 3.
Okay,
It's when you only have 3.
okay.
And you need a 5.
You need, if not everybody approves.
I'm just gonna give this stuff, just so you have this.
Sure.
To follow along. Yeah, so it's Karen, it's the storage.
All righty. Whenever you are ready.
I'm just looking to get a variance to just put 2 storage containers in those spots on the site plan. Just basically tool storage for crew separation from maintenance to construction. And we're just gonna store tools and construction equipment in there.
Okay. Is it like how long are you in?
I was kind of unsure. It kind of depends on what we end up doing over there, but it's just rented from Pac Van.
Like, is it like storage while you're doing construction?
It's more or less storage for the crews because we were getting too congested in one bay. So we'd like to, separate them and use that storage container as kind of like a little, I guess, just tool storage bay for them.
Both of them?
Yep.
So, yeah, so it appears they have one right now next to, so there's 2 businesses on this property, just
Yep.
for you, right? So there's KRM Landscaping on this property, which existed first, and then they came and got a site plan for truck repair.
Marcotte's Auto and Fleet.
Yep, and that's kind of behind, and right now, and I'm not sure if that's how he's using it, but he's got one temporary storage trailer next to where the KRM Landscaping building office is, and then he's got one down by the truck repair, and I assume you're using them for the 2 different types.
Yeah,
of
so
business.
one of them's for tool storage for the shop. The other one's tool storage for the construction crew. The one that we put down there for the shop is more permanent.
Now, are they already on site?
Yes.
They are, he wasn't aware.
I had no idea that I had to even get a variance for it. Until she
Yeah.
came down and told me.
And the ordinance actually says that the building inspector can allow temporary storage for up to 1 year, but if you want to do it permanently, then they need to come for a special exception. I don't know what permanent is, but they're not really permanent
Are you
structures.
are you renting these or this is gonna be?
I'm renting the one by the KRM building from Pac Van, and the one by the shop we own it.
I guess not fully.
I'm confused on, like, is there a variance needed?
No, a
Like,
special exception for temporary storage.
and the setback from the property line is correct?
Yeah.
Is it just a special exception on any property in town that you put temporary storage on?
Yeah.
That's okay. This is not because of the use that it is, it's just any piece of property in town.
If anyone puts a temporary storage, they're supposed to have a special exception.
Okay.
If it's gonna be over 1 year. And I don't even know how long it was there because we didn't know and he
It
didn't.
was
know,
just,
so-
it was just over the winter that,
Yeah.
yeah, they brought them in.
So, is this the criteria?
Yeah,
It's the same
special
special
exception,
exception.
yeah.
Or just anybody from the public have any comments? So I guess none.
Okay.
All right. Do you guys have any questions or comments? You guys just good to just move right through the list there?
Move
All
through the list.
Okay. The specific site is an appropriate location for such use. I would say that using containers to store things around a commercial business like that is appropriate.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not inside any setbacks.
This is like general commercial. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, it's right down,
I know where it is, but that's saying commercial.
It is.
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, yeah. You say, oh,
No factual evidence is found that the property values in the district would be reduced due to incompatible land use by such a use. See any?
Now, are these containers viewable from other businesses? I know Smart's Funeral Home is right next to it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a tree line there and a brook, but,
Because like, if it diminishes the value of looking at these containers.
Yeah.
But you're saying they can't really see.
well,
Well,
it's,
during the leaf season.
right, it's in the backyard.
Mhm.
And you do have some trees blocking, but you could see it a little bit, you know, I'm not gonna say you can't see
Yeah,
it.
thank you for being honest. Okay.
I think this helps at all.
Yeah.
Here's Smarts. I
Right,
think they're behind these two buildings here. And there's a,
right. So they would, the guests for Smart's, would do that.
correct, maybe some parking down in there.
Right, but, okay. Yep. Thank you.
And nobody from Smarts, they didn't write a letter or anything, right? They were notified.
Not on the special exceptions.
Okay.
Where are we?
Right.
There is no valid objection from the abutters based on demonstrable fact. Any
You say
butters here?
not on this, yeah.
No nuisance or hazard is involved.
And you're saying just tools are stored in them?
Correct.
Adequate and appropriate facilities would be provided for the proper operation of the proposed use. This looks like he's got plenty of clearance around it. For me. There's adequate area for safe and sanitary sewage disposal. Don't think that applies here. Operations in connection with such a use shall not be more objectionable to nearby properties for reasons of noise, fumes, odor, or vibration that would be the operation of any permitted use in the district, which are not subject to special exception procedures. He's just storing tools, not storing diesel fuel or gas or anything in there. I don't think that's the last one. That's it right there. Any motions?
Just, I have one question,
Yeah.
Kevin. So how far away on the side though, on your setback, is the trailer from your property? Do you have it marked on there?
It's
I
principally
gave you my-
20 feet.
Yeah,
That's 20 feet?
it's a minimum of 20 feet, yeah.
And you're, as long as you're 20 feet.
Yeah,
I gave you the plan.
Yeah, I saw the 20, that's why I was asking.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Sure, Just want to make note of that.
Inside setback is 20.
Oh, here I have it. It is 20.
Okay.
Yeah, 20 on the side.
Mhm.
With you on the. Yeah, you're in the commercial, 20. Yeah, 20, okay. I looked at it before.
Well,
Any motions?
I don't even know what that is.
It is Article 5, Appendix B.
If you have it right in front of you.
Yeah, I can make a motion, yep. Make a motion that we approve the special exception from Article 6, Appendix B, E.1E, and allow 2 temporary storage containers in the general commercial district.
I'll second it.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It passes.
There you go.
all right, thanks, guys.
Keep these, yeah.
Have a good night, guys.
Thank you. He's online.
Stop downstairs. Okay. Want to just take
Yeah,
a
we'll
2-minute
take
break?
a few minute break. Actually, I could use the bathroom too. If Bob doesn't mind waiting.
It'll be just another few minutes.
Bruce,
This
rather,
last one's
Bruce.
pretty, it's pretty, yes.
Pretty quick.
Looking like we're leaving.
Bruce, we're just gonna take a break real quick.
Okay.
Okay, no problem.
We got a little bit of a rough start.
Yeah. Well, hopefully the new system,
Well, you know, I was thinking, do you think maybe that thing gave us some headache?
oh, that thing that he's got in for the new system?
Yeah, it's plugged in, it's lit up, I saw.
I don't know, but the technology isn't my thing here, so. It's,
Not mine either.
Do we need this other light on?
why am I shut off?
Oh, no, it's a bit on.
Oh, why do we need the other light on? Oh, because it's getting dark and maybe?
It's getting dark.
Yeah, with the technical.
Yeah.
Well, and U-Haul was a big,
Yeah.
big car, just kind of like when Honda came in, they had like a,
Portfolio.
yeah. We don't always have big projects like U-Haul. They got a long road to go.
They came to us first though, before they, to get the, so they could get the exemption
Yeah,
for the
Yeah.
design of the building.
yeah. Yeah, it's gonna take them a while. They have, I don't know if that'll take a while. Yeah.
Maybe that should have been on the motion.
Well, I should have told them, you know, they could have used it.
Oh, yeah.
They went to the bathroom downstairs. They could have used that.
Yeah. One of those out.
You know, when downstairs when it's on.
Yeah, so hopefully it comes tomorrow and finish the cutting.
That'd be good.
Yeah,
Before we get some big wins again.
I got new sky. New sky? That's trees.
Oh,
Yeah, I had a huge bow pine. I mean,
that's coming down tomorrow?
oh, it came down today.
Okay, now.
There's like one more. That are just every time you get one on top, you're just like.
They take all the money.
It's such a good operation. It's expensive, but
It is expensive, right?
yeah.
Yeah, we
Literally,
gotta-
there's
you want it
nothing-
done right though, too.
That guy's amazing. He just does it nice.
Are they local?
Yeah, he's in Northfield.
What's the name?
New Sky.
Nothing's left behind. You know, just thumb drive.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I like it.
Yeah, It's either take them down or they'll come down.
Yeah, right.
See 'em.
You deal with them either way, right?
They come down through your roof, then guess what gets expensive?
Mm.
The sewer still downstairs, Scott?
No, they got done just as I went down. It was just adjourning.
They don't mind too, though.
Yeah. 'Cause,
This is pretty straightforward. This is-
Yeah, you just want.
He just wants to put a little.
Yeah, I've been fine. Is there a little tiny one? This is Bruce, yeah.
You know, 168.
It's a big building to begin with.
It is a big building. It's in the agricultural, so it's.
Yep.
What is this?
Because he's in the agricultural zone, it's gonna be a lot of use, so he can't expand on it. So it's like- Even though it's a pretty minor expansion.
Yeah, what is it, 12 by 26? Yeah.
It's going right here in the front, is that what?
Yeah, it looks like it's going right in the front, right?
Yep. Now, is it 12 is the depth and 26 across?
Yeah, that's what I got out of it.
Yeah, oh, there are the pictures right there. So. Yeah. That's nice. They have a sunrise window there. Sunburns.
Back to home?
No.
I think he was afraid we were gonna
Yeah,
go
I
back.
saw that. Like, until I saw this, I didn't know. If it
I
was
saw him go down the
26.
fire engine.
Basically, almost a windbreak.
Thank you for your patience, Mr. Howard.
No problem. Thank you. I'm glad we can hear you finally. It's
Yeah.
not bad.
I wonder what changed between.
Well, because we had so many,
Yeah, but the week before, maybe there was less mics.
I don't know.
We've got the one mic.
That one mic is covering everybody.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's a nice mic compared to these, though.
Because it's got the big, yeah.
Yeah, that's the old mic. I
Well,
thought
that
it was
makes it
that. Remember
easy.
when I first said, I think we had too many that
We
it's,
got something on over there. What is this?
oh, I don't know what this.
No,
stuff
not
is.
those two. The one.
This one here?
7.
That's this big mic. That's all we have on. And it's.
Yeah, you went home.
Well, that makes it.
One next to it. No, right next to it. Look, when he was talking, they could hear him.
I wonder if he's picking up on this mic though. I think that's all we got going, so just the one mic. I think we're better. Go
All
ahead.
right, you convene?
Yep, good to go. Alrighty, we are on to case 21-06, Bruce Howard.
Hello.
Hi.
Take your mask down so you can know.
Yeah, if you just take a minute and explain your proposal, we'll go from there.
Yeah. Okay, we have a small addition on the front of the building, 12 by 26. It's basically going to extend the existing roof line straight out towards the main road. It's going to be a small showroom. The building right now is about 120 feet long. It's long and not much class to it. It's kind of outdated. So we're going to put not a big addition, but just enough for a small showroom because we have a big woodworking shop and not enough clean space for displays. So it seems like a good spot right in the front there. It's not, it's right in the center of the property. There's no boundary lines or butter problems. So I think it's a good fit right in the middle there. I did a plot plan. It's right in the center of the property too. So it shouldn't be any problems. On the inside of it is just going to be lighting, outlets, sheetrocked interior. It's going to be a kitchen showroom. I basically already have one in there when you go through the front door, but it's real small. So we're just going to expand that showroom.
Because he's already non-conforming use for that,
This is in the
and it's
agricultural.
just making it larger.
Right.
Well, he has
We gotta
to.
go through the 5 things.
Yeah. Any, nobody from the public?
Well, there,
Give a chance. I guess someone could call in, I guess. Anyone from the public have any comments? There's nobody? Awesome. All right. You guys have any questions?
No.
Pretty straightforward.
Cool.
I agree.
He's
Let's,
been out there for a long time.
yeah. Let's go right to specific site is an appropriate location for such a use. It already is being used that way.
Yep.
And this is not significant addition at all. No factual evidence is found that property boundaries in the district will be reduced with incompatible land use by such a use.
No, it's already being used that way.
Yeah.
There is no valid objection from the abutters based on demonstratable fact. Objection follows. No nuisance or hazard is involved. No. Showroom. Adequate and appropriate facilities will be provided for the proper operation of the proposed use. Already exists, yeah. An adequate area for sanitary sewage disposal.
Not even putting that in.
And operations and connections with such a use shall not be more objectionable to nearby property areas, noise, odor, or vibration of any permitted use within the district, which are not subject to a special. He's not doing anything other than things to show people.
Yeah, he's already doing it, he says, in some part of the building district. It's a theme.
Any motions?
I'll make a motion that can we grant the whole thing, or do we have to go each one, just grant the special exception, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take my mask off. I'll make a motion that we grant a special exception for Article 9.3 to expand a non-conforming use to the extent, to extend the front entrance 12 by 26 feet.
Second.
And that was Matt.
Those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Passes. Awesome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you.
The only thing we have left to do is choose the vice chair.
I'll make a motion that you're using as vice chair.
I'm gonna approve you for secretary, whatever that means.
You're already there.
I'm sorry, I missed the whole. I think Scott motioned to have Eric using her as vice chair. We have a second.
I'll second it.
Second by Matt.
You weren't quick enough.
You need a vote?
Those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
I abstain.
And you need a clerk just by the rules and procedures.
We need a clerk.
Yeah.
Yes, Scott.
No, another clerk.
What is it? What are the
What's
responsibilities?
responsibilities? You know, if roll calls to be taken, they're supposed to be taken by the clerk.
But they don't. I never did
Do
any.
you want to waive it? I mean,
Yeah.
clerk.
That's fine. Waiving it, you guys.
I'll make a motion, we waive it, and if we have a roll call, to have the chair or the vice chair do the roll call.
Yeah, nice guy.
Simple as that.
Is that a motion?
Yes. I didn't get a second, though.
Seconded.
Okay.
You got it.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
There.
Done. Awesome.
Nice job, Matt. First
Yeah,
full chair.
nice one.
You have a lot to cover.
That was a lot for one night.
And you have technical difficulties.
Well, the first one was U-Haul.
Yeah.
Do we have to officially adjourn?
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, yeah.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn at 7:45.
A second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Adjourned.
I mean, it took us 10 minutes, just the microphone.
Yeah.
I know, that's good. Hopefully the new system will be.
Well,
in.
that- Why would you change that?
I
Thing
wouldn't
works
change,
great.
I'd just go with that.